In the rural heart of Bangladesh, where the green paddy fields stretch endlessly and the air is thick with the scent of earth and water, there was a small, isolated village called Char Kamar. It was a peaceful place, nestled by the banks of a slow-moving river, with small mud houses and tight-knit communities. But something lingered in the shadows, something no one spoke of, at least not openly. The elders would often warn the younger ones about the Chandrabali, the moonlight demon, who was said to roam the fields after dusk. They whispered that the creature, once a human, had been cursed for its greed and cruelty, and now, it only appeared when the full moon lit the night sky. A young man named Arif, eager to prove his bravery, dismissed the tales as nothing more than superstition. He had heard the stories from childhood, and though they always sent a shiver down his spine, he never truly believed in them. One night, after hearing a particularly frightening story from an elder at the local tea stall, he decided to venture into the fields alone, to see for himself what lay in the darkness. As Arif crossed the bamboo bridge that led to the farthest rice paddies, the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the landscape. The air was still, save for the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. He felt a strange unease, but he brushed it off. The fields were quiet. Too quiet. Hours passed, and the moon climbed higher. It was then that Arif heard the first whispers. Soft, almost imperceptible at first, like a breeze brushing against his ear. But as he stopped to listen, the sound grew louder, more distinct. It wasn't the wind. Arif. Arif, the voice called, echoing through the empty fields. His heart pounded in his chest as the voice came again, this time from further down the path. He took a hesitant step forward, the hairs on the back of his neck standing up. The whispers continued, each call closer than the last. Arif. Come to me. Despite every instinct in his body, screaming for him to turn back, Arif pushed forward. The moonlight seemed to grow colder, sharper, casting long shadows that twisted and stretched like fingers reaching for him. Suddenly, from the darkness ahead, a figure appeared. A woman, her long, black hair flowing around her face, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light. She stood motionless, her thin, pale lips parting slowly as the whispers grew into a full, eerie chant. Arif. Arif. Why do you fear me? Frozen in terror, Arif couldn't move. The figure seemed to glide toward him, her feet not touching the ground. He could hear her breathing, slow and deliberate, like a predator savoring its prey. Do you not recognize me? She hissed. A cold wind swept across the fields, and in the blink of an eye, the figure was right in front of him. Her face twisted in a grotesque smile, and Arif finally saw what was hidden behind the beauty. Her skin was decaying, her eyes hollow and filled with darkness. She wasn't human. Not anymore. Look closer, Arif, the voice whispered, almost a purr now. I was once like you. Just a villager, with dreams and desires. But I made a mistake. A mistake that cost me my soul. The woman stepped back, revealing a large, jagged scar across her chest, as though something had clawed its way out from within. Arif, too terrified to speak, could barely comprehend what was happening. The creature laughed softly, a sound that echoed like the rustling of dead leaves. You came here to mock the stories, but now you will learn why we fear the fields at night. You will join me. In the darkness. With that, the moon above grew brighter, and the air turned ice-cold. The creature lunged at him, its form becoming a blur of shadow and teeth. Arif screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the vast emptiness of the field. The next morning, the villagers found him at the edge of the rice paddies, his eyes wide open and his mouth frozen in a silent scream. His body was cold, lifeless, but most unsettling of all, his skin had turned pale, his eyes now reflecting the same eerie glow of the thing he had dared to confront. From that day forward, no one dared venture into the fields at night. The villagers learned the hard way that some legends are not just stories, they are warnings. The moonlit fields of Char Kamar would forever be haunted, whispering the names of those who, like Arif, dared to challenge what should never be questioned. And so, the curse of the Chandrabali continued, waiting for its next victim. For more stories, subscribe and press the follow button.